On the air with breaking news, a school shooting with reports of multiple fatalities, this time in Santa Fe, Texas.
It began as an ordinary school day, and it was almost over when gunfire erupted this afternoon. This deadly mass shooting happened in Parkland,
Deadly school
Florida.
shooting in a Denver suburb. An 18-year-old student was killed. 8 others were injured at the STEM school, Highlands Range.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero. Thank you for joining us. At least 2 people have been killed in a shooting on the campus of the University of North Carolina in Charlotte. This is according to our Charlotte affiliate, WBTV. Several other people reportedly have life-threatening injuries.
Over the past few years, there has been a tremendous amount of school shootings that have occurred, keeping teachers, students, and their family members in constant fear. On April 20th, 1999, one of the most infamous school shootings occurred at Columbine High School in Colorado. 20 years later, according to New England Cable News, there has been over 230 school shootings in America, excluding shootings at colleges or universities. In the past month, there have been 8 more school shootings. According to Everytown Research for Gun Safety, there were at least 130 incidents of gunfire on school grounds in 2018. There were about 60 deaths, including 7 suicide deaths, 88 injuries, including 1 self-harm injury. As of right now in 2019, there were at least 45 incidents of gunfire on school grounds, resulting in 9 deaths, including 3 suicide deaths and 29 injuries. As a result of the countless school shootings, there has been an increase in the discussion of gun reform in America. But even with the increased number of debates regarding gun control, there is yet to be any action taken on a large scale, and deadly school shootings are continuing to happen. We decided to interview students in the Wake County Public School System to get their thoughts on the current situation regarding school shootings.
Do you feel like school shootings have become more common?
Yes. And it's more of a racist thing now. And probably religious.
Why do you think that?
Because most of the school shootings that happened in recent years have been because of religious people with religious freedom and racism towards students.
I think it's become very common, and a lot of it has to do with bullying sometimes. If you're bullying somebody, they just had enough, came to school with a gun, start shooting stuff. So.
I feel like it's because I guess students or minors have better access to guns in general, and their abuse of their freedom, or it's not even freedom. It shouldn't be allowed, or it should be better taken care of. While students shouldn't possess weapons.
What do you think can be done to prevent school shootings from occurring?
I think students will I know they have gun licenses, but I feel like students, if you're in school, you shouldn't be allowed to carry firearms. Because I know some people they hunt stuff and they carry it in their trunk. But you shouldn't be able to bring it on school grounds. And they should install metal detectors. I know it's expensive and stuff. You gotta take precautionary measures for serious situations.
But how would you feel if you come into a school every day and you have to walk through a metal detector?
Take all your stuff off.
Yeah.
I mean, not take all my stuff off.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Just my shoes.
You gotta take the bag off, medals, you gotta take that off.
How would you feel about that?
You ever been to an airport?
Yeah, it'll actually feel more safe.
I feel like the only way to fix it is catch them before they try to kill themselves and give them a very hard punishment. And I feel like if you continuously do that, more people will start to
Probably do that.
I feel like all it takes is a few before people start to catch on, kind of what you're saying, but it's hard to catch people like that, because a lot of the times it's people you least expect. I know around social media, it's the quiet kid always does it, but you never really know who's gonna do it until after the fact. Especially with recent shootings, even over here, kind of just in the news more. It's I know the one in Charlotte. It was a former student, and a lot of people were he wasn't really the type to do it, and yeah, you just never know who's gonna be. So it's there's not exactly one way to kind of stop this issue. You gotta incorporate or implement a lot of laws.
Do you think school shootings across the United States will ever stop?
No. I feel there's always like that one person who decides he's gonna do something regardless of like the impact. Like that dude in Florida who shot up that school and he killed like 20-something kids. Like he didn't care. He like went to McDonald's after. Like people have mental situations too, so you really can't control like their mental state. And like some people will have come from like backgrounds where their family like has guns in their house. They can just bring one to school one morning, walk through the front door, go to the bathroom, pull their gun out, and start shooting.
Yeah, because a lot of people blame it on like mental health, and I know a lot of times it is the case, but like other times it's not the case. And a lot of people tend to exclude like the matter of like how the family's involved and how the family has an outlook on keeping guns and like permitting their kids to use it. But I feel like one like perpetuating constant factor between like recent shootings is social media and stuff. Because I know a lot of people made like jokes and like certain types of commentary on these school shootings, like memes and like videos and all that. And I feel like it's perpetuating the problem. And I feel like that should be stopped too, in order for, or not to see like a sudden like stop, but just to see like a decrease in its prevalence, like in the news in general.
Okay.
Do you think guns should be banned?
Nah.
I feel like it should be limited. I feel like it should be harder to access. Like I feel like there should be more steps you need to like take to get a gun, or to like acquire a gun, to get a license. But I don't feel like it should be restricted. I feel like it should be, I guess like, yeah, it should just be more limited.
Yeah, I feel like it should be more laws like implemented, because at the same time you can't take someone's right away to possess something.
How would you?
Right as a
It's
citizen.
kind of hard to do it anyway, because you can still walk on the street and find a gun in some places, like anywhere. And the same with them trying to ban drugs, like it's still around.
School shootings are terrible, and it's like a product of today and the society we're in. I think they've become more common, yeah. I think it became more common largely because it's like we glorify the shooter and we never glorify the people who actually survive. So people just want the attention.
Do you think school shootings across America will ever stop?
Unless you somehow block young people from getting guns, but then you stop adults doing it. But I don't think you're ever going to be able to completely stop it.
Do you think guns should be banned?
No, guns are a good thing. Like, it prevents the government from just wilding on you. So, and plus, some people live in areas where it's like, you call the police and it's like 15 minutes, so if someone's in your house, you're beat. So,
Do you think there will ever be a change in the law about carrying guns in America?
I think we need more common sense gun reform. Like, if you have mental illnesses, certain mental illnesses, you can't have a gun. Or if, like, you're, even, like, some people that felonies should have guns because of the areas they live in. But it really should depend on your situation and then your mental health. Like, we should have mental health screenings mandatory, like, every couple of years.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Alex. I am a 7th grader. I define a school shooting as when someone, typically a student, attempts to shoot with a gun fellow students or teachers. It feels like something that shouldn't be happening. It feels like if people are driven to do that, then we need to think about what's causing that and try and fix that. Yes, I think definitely they've become more common recently. You tend to hear about them more in like news, and they just haven't happened when like my parents were children or when my grandparents were children. It seems to be starting to really kick up in this era. I think making sure that people who feel ignored and depressed, I think one of the first things we can do is making sure we try to get help to them, because if we don't, then that hurts them, it hurts the people around them, and I think just trying to limit access to weapons that can be used to shoot up schools and things like that would also help.
So, do you think school shootings across the United States could ever stop?
Maybe not stop completely, because I think there still will be people out there that even after all we can do will still be driven to do these things. But I think that we can definitely decrease the numbers and create a safer environment where it doesn't happen as often.
Mm-hmm. Do you think guns should be banned?
Maybe not banned completely, but I think the amount of regulation that's currently in place might not be enough for such a dangerous weapon. Like, I don't think that the common citizen should be able to get weaponry and things that are fully automatic, like military grade weapons, like fully automatic weapons, weapons that are powerful enough to shoot through so far, like super far distances, and firm substances. Like, I think that kind of powerful weapon shouldn't be available to the average person.
How do you feel about the lockdown drills that you're required to do within your school?
I feel like that in the situation we are in, they're necessary. As much as I hate to say it, school shootings are a thing and they do happen. So I think the fact that we do that's simply preparing for something bad that could happen, like a tornado drill or a fire drill.
Do you think there will ever be a change in the law about carrying guns in America?
I think that there will be, simply because so many things happen because of loose gun control that I think they'll be forced to change them for fear of a more dangerous society.
Thank you.
Although there haven't been any changes in gun laws nationally, some states are taking their own steps to protecting students in case they unfortunately found themselves in a school shooting crisis. As of August 2018, Tennessee fire marshals issued new classroom lockdown guidelines in an event of a school shooting. Classrooms will now be allowed to have barricade devices on the doors to prevent a shooter from entering a room. Tennessee joined Ohio, Arkansas, Michigan, New Jersey, Kansas, Utah, and Wisconsin as the only states to allow this as a line of defense. In May of 2019, the Washington Post posted an article about Florida passing a law that would allow teachers, after completing the required training, to carry guns in schools. While this law seems to have good intentions in the protection of students, allowing weapons around kids has the possibility of creating more problems in schools. Some people believe that an easy solution is to pass laws that will increase gun control and make it harder for people to get guns. But the Second Amendment allows for the right to bear arms, and some feel that to decrease access to guns is a violation of America's constitutional rights. But there may be another reason as to why there hasn't been any major gun restrictions. According to IBIS World, over the past 5 years, the guns and ammunition manufacturing in the U.S. industry has grown by 2.8% to reach revenue of $17 billion in 2018. In the same time frame, the number of businesses has grown by 3.8%, and the number of employees has grown by 2%. The large business in guns may be part of the reason as to why no changes have been made to the laws regarding guns. While money is being made in the gun industry, kids are continuing to go to school with the constant fear of becoming another victim of a school shooting. Although you may not have the power to make laws, you do have the power to vote people into office who will. Use your right to vote to bring about a change in this nation. Something needs to change, because nobody should have to be afraid about the possibility of losing their lives at school.